seniors or something. Yeah.
Today we have Chris York, a 1987 Goshen graduate, here to speak with you. Mr. York not only graduated from Goshen High School, he went on to play football at East Tennessee State University, got his graduate degree there, got into the health field, worked in Tennessee for several years, and is now the president of the largest nonprofit hospital organization in the state of Texas. This is impressive. Extremely impressive. What's more impressive is he was sitting and roaming the halls of Goshen High School, just where you're at, to think about possibilities. So please give a warm welcome to Chris York.
Good morning. I can't tell you how excited I am to be here with you guys today, just to share life lessons that have changed my life, and I learned them right here in Goshen. So what I want to share with you will hopefully be inspiring to you, but if it's not, at least you're out of fourth period, right? Everybody agree with that? Okay. Hopefully we'll raise the bar just a little bit. So I grew up in Goshen. We moved here when I entered the fourth grade, went all through high school here. I was probably like a lot of you. I grew up in a home. My dad, there was no real emphasis on education in my house. If I brought a B home, my parents thought they'd raised the second coming of Albert Einstein. So not a high bar academically. My dad, although he had one of the greatest work ethics of any human being I've ever known, he went to the 6th grade. My mom went to the 8th grade. There was never any emphasis on academics. And there certainly wasn't any emphasis on going to college. I mean, we were the type of family, which I'm sure is just like a lot of you today. We lived paycheck to paycheck, and sometimes we didn't quite make it. We cut our own firewood for heat in the winter. We grew our own vegetables in the garden in the backyard. And we did a lot of hunting and fishing that actually put protein on the table. And we consumed everything that we harvested. So that's kind of how I grew up. And it's probably not a whole lot different. I've been driving around Goshen a little bit this morning. I actually grew up on Thompson Road. 7190, I still remember the address. It's changed quite a bit. But driving around Goshen this morning, it hasn't changed a whole lot from 1987. But the one thing that absolutely changed the trajectory of my life was one of the greatest mentors, one of the greatest life heroes I've ever had. And I'll be 50 this summer. But Coach George Rise, who at that time was a head football coach, he was also the principal of the high school. The only person in my life that ever challenged me to get a college education. And he would constantly tell me, and he would tell a lot of other people, anyone who would listen, he would tell them, it'll change your life. He knew what I couldn't comprehend. That education, that knowledge and information, and then application of that education, knowledge, and information can absolutely change your life. He knew what I couldn't comprehend. That education, that knowledge and information, and then application of that education, knowledge, and information can absolutely change your life. And it certainly did mine. The only person in my life to ever challenge me to get a college education, and quite honestly, I didn't really know what it meant. I fell in love with the game of football. In my freshman year, I kid you not, I was 5.5 feet tall and I weighed 100 pounds soaking wet. We used to say if I would turn sideways and stick my tongue out, I'd look like a zipper. I was that small. But I decided as a 14-year-old freshman at Goshen High School that I wanted to play college football because I loved the game. Not necessarily that I wanted to get a college education, I just wanted to be able to play football a little while longer. And so Coach Rise invested in my life. Now again, 5'7", 5'6", 5'7", 100 pounds soaking wet, you're not a great athletic prospect. Nonetheless, he invested in me day after day. I got to see Mr. Edwards showed us the weight room this morning. It's absolutely impressive compared to what we used in the mid-1980s. But I can remember staying after school and hanging out with Coach Rise, and I'd have 120 pounds on the bench press. Probably most of the ladies in the room today can bench press 120 pounds, I would guess, if you tried to. But I'd have 120 struggling with it, and Coach Rice would be sitting right behind me telling me to do one more rep. And what he poured into my life over my 4 years at Goshen High School not only changed my life, quite honestly, but it changed my family's life. Our son is a freshman at the University of Minnesota this morning because of what George Rice poured into my life. And I've had the opportunity, as he mentored me, I've had the opportunity to mentor a number of other people, and they've gone on to mentor other people, changing their life based on what he poured into my life. And I could never have imagined the lessons that he taught me as a 14 to a 17-year-old kid growing up in Goshen, what they would do for my life, and the things that I'd be able to do. I want to share some of those lessons with you here in just a second, but when he was teaching me that, a lot of it he wasn't explicit about. Some of it it was his actions. But I could never have imagined growing up the way that we grew up. I could never have imagined living a life where you didn't struggle paycheck to paycheck, because that's all I knew. And the freedom that my wife and I have today, it's a direct reflection of what he poured into me, what he invested in me 35 years ago. I could never have imagined the life that I get to live today. I get to live, as Mr. Edwards mentioned, I get to lead an organization, and sometimes, honestly, I'm sitting around in the boardroom thinking, I wonder if anyone here has ever split wood. I wonder if anyone here has ever caught a yellow-bellied catfish underneath a bridge, which I used to do on Thompson Road all the time, growing up as a kid. But I get to lead an organization that this year will have gross revenues approaching $1 billion. I could never have imagined that as a 700-pound soaking wet kid walking through the hallways of Goshen High School. I could never have imagined with the environment that we grew up in, my wife and I together were able to retire our parents. As you might imagine, my wife's mother is the only one of our 4 parents who actually graduated from high school. So for those of you that are well on your way to graduating high school, you're better than 75%. You're already better off than 75% of our parents. I could never have imagined being able to retire our parents and buy each of them a home and buy each of them a car, because they loved us, they worked hard, but they didn't plan for that kind of thing. It wasn't in the realm of possibilities for me, quite honestly. I've been blessed to do a lot of things that I couldn't have imagined because of what Coach Rice poured into my life. And now there's got to be hard work and application that goes along with that. It's not just theory and philosophy. You've got to put it into action. But I will promise you, there's not one of you here today that can't surpass the wildest dream that you could come up with right now. I can promise you, and I'm living testimony of it, you can far surpass anything that you can dream up right now. Now, if you want to be the next Michael Jordan, we may have issues. But if you want to apply the knowledge and the information, the education that you're getting here at Goshen, and then whatever you're going to do after Goshen, you can absolutely live a life that you cannot comprehend right now. I've been blessed to travel. When I was a kid, we went to Daytona Beach one time when I was about 7 years old. And other than that, a couple trips to Gatlinburg, those were our family vacations. My wife and I have been blessed. We've traveled to 41 of the 50 states. We've been to 4 foreign countries. I could not have imagined that. And I'm not saying, please don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this at all to brag or boast or pat myself on the back. It's a byproduct, it's a result of what Coach Rice poured into my life when I was a scrawny little kid walking the halls at Goshen. And he had no idea that I would grow 7 inches and double my body weight through high school, but he still invested in me because he cares about people. And so the lessons I want to share with you, they'll apply to about 20% of you. And I don't mean that to be harsh, but that's just kind of the breaking point of how many people actually take this and apply it. But the cool thing about it is, you determine if you're in the 20% or the 80%. No one else will do that for you. My parents, or my wife's, funny story, when I decided I wanted to play college football, all my mom ever told me was, you're too small, you're going to get hurt. I got my scholarship papers ready to sign my national letter of intent because I was 17 years old and a minor. I had to have an adult parent, chaperone, whatever, guardian sign my papers, and my mom refused to sign my papers. When my wife told her mother, I want to go to medical school and be a doctor, her response was, only smart kids go to medical school. So you're the only one. There's one person on this planet that can determine if you'll apply these or not, and it's you. Each and every one of you has the same opportunity. I don't care where you're coming from or where you started. I was an absolutely mediocre student in high school. I had 2 scholarship offers. One of them was to Georgetown, Kentucky, and they were having a hard time getting me approved. They finally did, but they were having a hard time getting me approved because I didn't care about academics. And there was no emphasis on it in my life at that point, except for George Rice. And so you're the only one that will determine if you're in the 20% or the 80%, but I want to share with you the lessons that I learned while I was here. The first and foremost, the most important one to me is get a mentor in your life. Someone that you care about, someone that you respect, someone that you would aspire to. You don't have to be pursuing the same occupation that they may be pursuing, but get someone in your life who's going to cause you to level up. George Rives was sitting there watching me struggle with 120 pounds on the bench press. And he kept telling me one more time, one more time, one more time. And pretty soon, as I grew and worked, I didn't even warm up with that weight anymore. But it was because he pushed me to be the very best version of me that I could possibly be. And again, I had to show up. Part of winning in life, part of being successful, is showing up when other people are ready to quit. And there are way too many people in life that are willing to quit when it gets tough. It's tough. That's why I think there's not more phenomenal people in the world, because there's no, between average and phenomenal, there's no paved road in life. You've got to pave it every day when you get up with hard work, discipline, perseverance, and couple that with a passion for whatever you want to be. Because you're the only one who will limit that. I promise you. Again, I get to live a dream every day when I wake up, and I'm so thankful, I feel so blessed. But the other thing about having a mentor in your life, eventually you're going to learn to become a mentor. And part of the goal of all the lessons that Coach Rise and Louisa Rise taught me as a kid is to have an impact on the world around you. This isn't about getting rich or chasing money, and there's a lot of people that get hung up on that. I want to encourage you, if you figure out how to be a blessing in other people's lives, you will be a success. But have a mentor in your life who's going to challenge you to level up on a routine basis and never get to a plateau, because a lot of people like to get, quite honestly, in life, we like to get into a rut. By human nature, that's comfortable for us. I heard a long time ago, the only difference between a rut and a grave is about 5 feet. So if you think things are fine and you're satisfied, and there's nothing wrong with that if you want to be one of the 80% in life. We need each and every one of us. But I want to challenge you, continually figure out how you level up in life. And a mentor is one, and I promise you that I've talked to several people here. They know how to get in contact with me. You get in contact with me on social media. I am anyone who's interested. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or LinkedIn. And I promise you, I will be a sounding board for you. I will give you advice as I see it, if anybody's interested in that, because I want to pour back into other people's lives, because I've had 2 great heroes in my life that have changed my life. And so I want to commit to being that for you if you so desire. And if it's not me, find somebody else that's going to challenge you to be the best version of you that you can possibly be. And along those lines, you don't ever want to get to a point in life, again, where you're satisfied. Nothing wrong with being satisfied with accomplishments, but don't be complacent. A mentor is somebody who's going to challenge you. They're going to be there to push you. And it's up to you each and every day to get out of bed and do whatever it takes to be the very best you can. One of the things that a mentor will do is challenge you to think about your future. And I want to challenge each and every one of you this morning. Think about where you want to be 5 years from now. That's not that long. It may seem like it's a long time for some of you. It's not that long. I had a mentor who challenged me to think about where I want to be when I'm 65. And I worked back from that point to where I was at 28. And I want to challenge you this morning. Think about where you want to be just 5 short years from now. And what's the next step you take? My wife and I have been blessed to live in some of the coolest cities around the country. Nashville, Charlotte, Atlanta, and our home the last 11 years has been Dallas, Texas. What's your next step? It may be here in Goshen, it may be here in Ohio somewhere, but think about what your next step is. And what I want you to do is stand in that future. Talk about to yourself, talk about what that looks like. And then walk back to where you are right now and ask yourself, what's my next step to be that person 5 years from now? And here's the deal, if you don't know what you want to be 5 years from now, you're already there. So I'm going to encourage you to think about 5 short years. I do this about every three months or so. At the age of 49, I still ask myself, where do I want to be 5 years from now? What do I want to be doing 5 years from now? How do I want to be able to have an impact on people's lives 5 years from now? So constantly be thinking about the future and what that looks like for you and how you can be the very best version of yourself. And the thing that I also want to share with you, I alluded to earlier, it's easy in life to get complacent. But what you do on a daily basis, the things that you let into your life, whether it's material that you read, people that you hang out with. I read one time to always have breakfast with winners because the conversation is different. So the things that you let into your life are going to have a major impact on the trajectory of your life. So you want to be focused on that. There's an old adage that says your thoughts lead to actions, and they absolutely do. Your actions lead to habits. Your habits lead to your character, and your character determines your destiny. So be ultra cautious about what you let into your life. That 6 to 7 inch space between our ears is one of the greatest tools that you'll ever have in your life. Use it wisely. But be cautious about what you let into your life. And the people that you associate with, the things that you read, that will determine the trajectory of your life. So be focused on that. Be the very best that you can be each and every day. And here's the other piece about life. You're going to fail at times. You're going to fall down, you're going to get knocked down. The challenge, again, as I mentioned earlier, a huge part of success is continually getting back up and showing up each and every day when other people are ready to quit. And again, you're the only one in this room who will determine whether or not you get up and show up. It's completely within your realm of possibility to be whatever you want to be, to do whatever you want to do, and to live a life that I promise you, as you're sitting here right now, you can't comprehend the potential that you have. George Rise didn't know the potential that I have, but he continued to invest in me. And because of that, because of his actions, I get to live a life that I could never have imagined. And I am so grateful. I am so indebted to that man. I can't begin to explain the gratitude and the love that I have for him, because he completely changed my life. And each and every one of you have the same opportunity. You know, when I was in high school, we used to kind of have this stigma of Goshen. It's not the big sexy high school or whatever. I wanted to go to Ohio State, quite honestly. Everybody grew up, at least all my friends grew up being Ohio State Buckeye fans. I wasn't big enough, I wasn't fast enough to play for the Buckeyes. But I still got a scholarship, and I made the most out of it. And I work for people, quite honestly, that have gone to more prestigious universities. And I work with those folks, and I'm blessed with a better job as a result of getting up and showing up each and every day. So it doesn't matter where you started. What matters is how you finish in life. And a big part of being successful is getting up and showing up each and every day, whether it's in your academics or whatever it is that you're passionate about. You figure that out, and you be a savage going after that each and every day. Don't let anyone ever tell you that you can't do it, or that you're not good enough, that you're not big enough, that you're not smart enough, or whatever the case may be. You be a savage about whatever your passion is, and whatever you want to become, whatever you want to go after. And I promise you, you'll look back 35 years from today, and you'll be amazed at what your life has turned into. And all the things that you've experienced, because you got up, and you showed up, you were persistent. Mr. Edwards and I were talking earlier, rivers don't cut through rock because of their power. They cut through rocks because of their power and because of their perseverance. That's one of the greatest challenges in life, because you will fail, you will get knocked down, you will have disappointments, but just know that those failures and those disappointments produce great fertilizer for future growth if you're willing to get up and show up and stick with it and not quit. That's my encouragement to you. And all of these life lessons that George Rice poured into me 35 years ago, they have the underlying premise of figure out how to be a blessing to somebody around you. It's not kind of self-servicing, egocentric philosophy. There is literally no telling how many people George Rice has impacted, how many lives. And my son is a better man because of the time that I spent with George Rice, because I passed on everything that George taught me. I passed it on to my son, and I shared it with a number of other people. And so I want to encourage you, think about who that mentor is in your life. Get somebody plugged in, and get multiple of them if you can. But figure out how you impact somebody else's life. Because I'll promise you, when you get to be my age, it will fly by. If you're living life, it will fly by, I promise you. But when you get to be my age, one of the greatest riches in life is not your bank account, it's not your home, it's not what kind of car you drive. It's how many people's lives that you've touched. And you'll be able to look back and feel a tremendous blessing because of the lives that you touched. And I promise you, with all the encouragement that I can put together, each and every one of you have the opportunity to make that decision today and tomorrow and the next day and the next day. My name is Chris York. I graduated from here in 1987. And I want to promise you, you can be whatever you want to be. Thank you all.
I just want to thank Mr. York very much for coming in and speaking to you guys today and having such a powerful message with a certificate of appreciation on behalf of the Goshen Board of Education and Goshen High School. Thank you so much.